I'm Rachel.
I'm Savannah.
And this is
Cozy Crimes.
Okay. Welcome to another episode. Episode 1 was a bit hectic.
This is our first rodeo.
Yeah, I mean, I used to have a podcast and that's gone. That's gone. Never coming back. Oh. And I used to live stream. But... Screams and feast on your screams. Oh, I have to knock at your door?
Mm-hmm. Jesus.
Okay.
Welcome! I thought she was like,
This is so sad! This is so sad!
What do you have?
There's a story behind why I stopped, and I don't think that story is very appropriate to share.
Oh my gosh.
But I promise that this episode is going to be better, and the cuts are going to be much smoother than it was on the last one. The only reason it was very choppy and I repeated myself a lot was because we wanted to get that video out on Halloween.
And it was our first episode, and we didn't know how we wanted to run things really, but we've had some time to meet and talk about how we want the podcast to go. So
Right.
it will be going smoother from now on.
Mm-hmm. So I guess our schedule is just going to be we post once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's reasonable. We're very busy college girls.
Yeah. And whatever. We have our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Very popular.
Girl. Or mediocre at best.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I saw today at school? So at my school, there's this big building, and it's dedicated to all like the nursing and medical stuff, and it's a human health building.
Oh, the nice building.
Yeah. So I was going over this bridge, and it's over this pond, and usually there's duckies and stuff in there, but not today. Instead, I found a dead frog.
Aww. For a second, I thought you were about to say a dead body.
Oh?
But, you know.
At Cozy Crimes here, we don't find actual corpses.
We don't find actual crimes.
Yeah.
We're not that invested. Oh my gosh.
But, yeah, it was kind of sad, though, because I haven't seen, like, a frog in forever. And that was, like, so sad to see it all mushed and decapitated.
Do you want to hear some of my psychotic childhood?
Sure.
So, at my uncle's house, they had a pond, and they had frogs that would, like, tiny ones that would, like, perimeter around the little pond, and they had a lot of dogs, and we would go down to the pond, and I would catch the frogs in the mud that was around the pond, and then I would feed them to the dogs.
What is wrong
But they wouldn't actually swallow them. They would just chew them and spit them out. I promise I'm not psychotic, but it was just something to do to pass the time.
Who just passes the time? You know, there's...
But they knew the drill, and I didn't go up there that long. Very frequently. I never went up there frequently. So, they were already trained to do that, not by me.
I don't even know what to say. That's actually really shocking.
Yeah.
And this is my first time hearing this story from you.
I feel like I've definitely told you this before.
If you had told me this in, like, middle school when we first met...
You would have not been friends with me.
Yeah, I literally would have been like, it was nice knowing you as an acquaintance.
It's too far in now. There's no backing out.
Yeah, so... it's been how many years exactly?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, well, in today's story, as you can tell by the title, we're gonna do a creepypasta series. I used to be really into creepypasta in middle school and such. I had the biggest crush on... character named Tiki Toby.
Oh my gosh, I remember that. I feel like I remember you saying that.
Yeah, he was my love, my you know. Oh, you know what else I did? I watched this movie called X.
Last night?
Mm-hmm. And because there's I think it's the sequel of the movie, Pearl. That came out. Yeah. So I was just like, you know what? I don't know what this movie is really about. And I keep seeing people dressing up as her for Halloween. And, like, I just see stuff about it all the time. So I watched X. It was not what I expected.
Like, what do you mean?
There was a lot of
Scenes, yeah.
Yeah, scenes. You
A lot
know?
of scenes.
Yeah, scenes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of scenes in there that I didn't expect. Just know, if you want to watch X, you should watch it alone. Or with somebody that isn't your parent or
Yeah.
grandparents.
Yeah, or children.
Exactly. So, yeah, there's a lot of boobs everywhere. That's what all I can say. Mm-hmm. A lesbian over here. Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, there was a lot of boobs everywhere. And it's not what I expected, but I liked it.
I'm sure you did.
But it got kind of boring to me. So I was skipping. Tick, 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 tick,
You're
tick.
psychotic. How could you skip from a movie that you haven't even watched? You guys don't do that, right?
Also, I just wanted to go to sleep.
Oh
but I
my-
wanted to finish the movie. So that's why I was skipping a lot.
Dedication.
I'm not gonna stay up just to watch a movie, okay? I watched a good chunk of it, and then I just
pick a movie and then I fall asleep, and then I pick up where I remember the next day.
You know the girl that plays Wednesday?
Yes.
Adams?
Wednesday Adams, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the actress's name, but she is in the movie, and it really shocked me because
Did you see her boobs?
no, actually, she was just in panties and a bra.
Oh.
I feel like she couldn't do that. I don't know. She's 20.
Isn't she on, like, Disney?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of contracts revolving around that
Yeah, so
aspect of different shows.
yeah. So she was just only in a bra and panties, and they didn't really show much of her during a scene like that.
Yeah.
But that was pretty much it. There was nothing to it. But it, like, I was kind of surprised because she's in Disney.
That's what I'm saying.
She's in Disney, so I was like, ooh, she's in this type of jazzy movie. But okay.
We could be wrong, though. Is she in Disney?
She was in High School Musical.
I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure she's in Disney. Okay.
With Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah.
Sorry, little intermission here. I just realized the person that I was talking about, her name is Jenna. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. And just made a little mistake, okay? Turns out she wasn't in High School Musical with Olivia Rodrigo. But she did have a show called Stuck in the Middle that was in Disney. Okay? I was just a little confused. Nothing too crazy. That's it. So, I don't know. I don't know.
Alright.
Anyways. So, the first story we're gonna read here, I read it a long time ago when I used to stream. I think you'll recognize this story. This is one of the very few good creepypasta stories that we read that doesn't sound like absolute crap. But at the same time, I don't know what we were really expecting from creepypasta stories. Because when you're 13, you think that crap is so cool.
Honestly.
Okay, anyways. Actually, I wanted to mention this because I saw it on TikTok and I want to know if you saw it too. But I saw this debate because, like I just said, Pearl, the movie, right? Basically, Pearl is like she has like issues, and she kills people. You know, well, the first movie it was like she had to, but the second one, I didn't watch the second one, but I saw this clip of her just killing somebody, and a lot of people had an issue with it, with people dressing up as Pearl for Halloween. And I was confused why, because she's a fictional character. She's not real, you know? She's not based on real life events. It's not like an actual person and actual victims. But I saw on the TikTok that people were trying to compare it to people dressing up as Jeffrey Dahmer for Halloween.
How?
They tried comparing it.
How? Because, like, Pearl's a fictional character.
That's what I mean. But people were
Jeffrey
comparing
Dahmer was very much real.
that
And caused a lot of pain towards people.
was like most of like the argument, but people were like, well, Pearl is like also a serial killer, and I'm like,
But like a fake one.
yeah, she's not
Like, sure, that must have happened somewhere, probably, sadly, but like her herself is a fictional serial killer.
She's not a real person,
Right.
So I don't know. I felt like that was the dumbest argument that I've ever heard of like people trying to compare
Well, I'm glad it wasn't on my side of TikTok.
Pearl and then Jeffrey Dahmer. There's always some weird crap on my TikTok.
Always.
Okay. Well, the story for today, our first creepypasta story, is gonna be The Bloody Painter. And so this is on DeviantArt. I know some like creepypastas are on the actual official website, but this one's on DeviantArt because the actual creator of this character is on DeviantArt. So, yeah, if you're interested, I will link the story in the description. Yeah. And also, I guess a little bit of a trigger warning. There's going to be some images that pop up that I'm going to put up on the screen while we're reading the story. And one of them is a bit, like, out of pocket. So, trigger warning to that. I don't know, like blood, but it's fake. But it's blood.
It's a fake picture.
Yeah, it's a fake picture. So, but just in case if anybody is, like, a bit queasy. Okay.
My gosh, nobody's gonna want to listen to you hacking up.
You don't know that. You don't know that. Yeah. Okay.
I don't want to hear it. Can you just read?
I'm nervous.
I'll give
What? Go ahead.
a left.
You know,
word.
on YouTube they ask me if it's for kids,
Oh no,
and I accidentally put that it's for kids,
Rachel, why?
and then I took it off because
Okay, good.
because I realized if you put it for kids, they don't let you comment. Well, I don't know. I don't know what kids
It
are.
would have been more probably like broadcasted or like showed more of an opportunity if it wasn't kids.
Yeah, I know, but I don't want like a 5-year-old looking at her cartoon self.
No. They'd be like, oh my gosh, this is so cute.
Like when I was a kid and I thought Family Guy was for like kids because it was a cartoon.
Yeah.
Okay. The Bloody Painter. Okay. A file about the 2003 murder case. In order to protect the privacy of the individual and victims in the following article, all names have been altered except the murderers. The detail of the story have been adapted to make it smoother, but I will try to tell... what? But I will try to tell thing. I don't know.
Oh man.
You have something to say?
I said it.
Say it louder for the audience.
Old man.
Anyways. Yeah. Mr. Helen Otis. I called out to a boy who sat in front of me, but he didn't reply. He was wearing a light blue patient robe, his dark green circles under his eyes, his messy jet black hair, and his skin, pale as paper. His gaze straight at me, like how a predator stares at its prey. You know, this make it sound like, you know how like in fan fictions or even in romance books, that's how they describe.
Oh yeah.
They're like, hazel eyes with her blonde
Staring
hair.
at me, fierce brown eyes.
Her eyes full of lust.
On the hunt.
Okay. Also, this isn't real. This isn't real, by the way. This isn't a real case. If it was a real case, we wouldn't be making jokes like this, okay? It's a creepypasta. At least I hope it's not a real case. I'm a psychiatrist. My job is to interview patients. He's been here for some time now, but I've never seen him communicate with other patients. He always stayed in the corner of the room. Needless to say, he was in, let me spell this word out to our audience here because English is not my first language. CCENTRIC.
Let me read.
Oh, is it eccentric?
That's what to say. That's what it sounds like.
Never mind. It's
Take time.
eccentric child. He was an eccentric child. This is a judicial psychiatric hospital. The only difference between this is the way we treat patients with a criminal record to prevent the patients from another infraction. Let me reread that sentence. I'm going to cut that one out. Okay. The only difference between this is the way we treat patients with a criminal record to prevent the patients from another infraction. Okay. His silence didn't help at all. Do you know this? I pulled out a picture in front of him. It showed a set of black rimmed glasses on the road. This was his crime scene. Why the... Okay, I'm sorry. This is from 2017, okay? But can you imagine showing a psychiatric patient the crime scene?
Oh my gosh. I didn't even think about it like that. Dude, that would put them into, like, a spiral.
That's
like...
what I mean. It's like you're showing their dead mother that they killed, and you're like, do you know this?
Do you know this? Oh my gosh, I just spat everywhere. Sorry. Sorry.
Got a little in my mouth.
Don't put that in people's heads.
But I feel like... what's the fucking OSHA? No.
Oh yeah. No, OSHA laws.
OSHA violation. Right
Yeah.
there. Okay. Well, I love this already. He stared at the picture and spoke softly. This is from my best friend. That's even worse. Why would you show us that? What's even worse? Your best friend?
So you're gonna make them a psychiatric patient as well?
Can you imagine, like, this story is fake, okay? Again. But can you imagine one of us...
like, yeah, I was gonna say, like, myself in a psychiatric hospital showing, like, my crime scene, and then you come along, and then you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, or, like, one of us is the patient, right? And they show us a picture of one of our glasses. We both wear glasses. One of our glasses on the road covered in blood. I don't understand.
Because we should both be in a psychiatric hospital, but, like...
We're kidding. We're both mentally well.
Who are you trying to fool? We sound mentally ill. We can't even... We can't.
Okay. He stared at the picture and spoke softly. This is from my best friend. Can you tell me something about it? I asked, but he just stared at me without saying a single word. Well, duh.
What is it gonna say?
Right. Look, since you came here, we have not been making any progress. If you can tell me something about this, then just tell me about it, please. After I finished my plead, he heaved and sighed and said, it's rather a long story. Taking a pause, but this sounds insane. Are you sure that psychiatric, whatever her name is, shouldn't be the patient in this situation? Who just shows them a picture of a crime scene? You know, I understand, like, interrogation, you know. Cops are a bit aggressive. There was, like, some cases where cops were too aggressive on a victim that didn't turn out to be the suspect. And then they ended up getting nowhere. But, I don't know. I feel like someone who works at a psychiatric hospital needs to be a bit more cautious.
Like, they need to be more gentle with the patients. That's the whole aspect of the job.
Yeah, it's kind of funny though because she just randomly shows him a picture.
But I guess that just goes along with the story. We're trying to like normalize it and like put it into like real world like scenario.
Yeah, because it has something to do with our occupation. We're both going into the medical field, so we're a bit like stingy.
OSHA, what's the job?
Yeah, we're a bit stingy with this, but you know what? It's just a random story. So, sorry, come here. Okay. His story is about a very quiet teen in class who was accused of stealing a watch, which belonged to a very popular classmate. This caused him to be bullied by a group of students. He and one of the students named Tom became friends, but later found that his friend had framed him. They argue at the rooftop, and Tom accidentally fell to his death. This is a photo of Tom's glasses after the accident occurred. Okay, it's not even a crime scene. It's his friend literally dying from an accident.
So it is a crime scene, but it's not.
Well,
their
it's not
crime
his,
scene.
yeah.
But I feel like that's
even
more
worse.
messed up. Because like if it's a crime, like say if they're making me come and see your crime scene as a psychiatric patient. Well,
especially if they accidentally fell off the roof.
Accidentally fell off the roof. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
No, but then that would have made me spiral, and I would have been like, oh my gosh, I could have done something to help, and da 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 da. Like, in real life situation. So, why would they do that?
I don't know. Who really knows with... Who knows? Okay. Oh, great. I tried to save him. I tried to pull him up, but he let go of my hand. I didn't know what he was thinking at that time. Oh my god! Well,
She's making me go into a spiral already, and I'm not admitted.
Jesus. I love this. And this was one of the good ones, okay? So we're just being goofy goobers. And also because we're in the medical field, so we're stingy. He finished his story, then looked down at his hands. He seems to be thinking about something. Recalling seemed to give him anxiety. Okay. I had predicted this before he said anything. Okay. Jesus, what is going on? The patient who were sent here, as well as their cases, are recorded in their files. Intriguing. Is that how intriguing spelled?
Let me see. Where? Yeah, intriguing.
It looks funky for intriguing. Intriguing cases from high schools are very common for teens like Otis. Bygone memories of the past fade, but not in the case of Tom's death. Maybe that's why Helen can't forget the past or forgive himself. What happened after that? I continued my questions. At least we're making some improvement. After Tom died, Halloween was just around the corner, and the school had a Halloween party, and everyone had to dress up. I prepared a mask one night before the event. I was very tired, so I napped, and then found myself here. In the file, it stated that he killed 17 people that night. No one knows how he did it. They don't rule out the fact more than one person was involved. Do you remember what happened during the party? Any details? I asked. But he shook his head and then continued to look down at his fingers. Doctor, why am I here? He asked quietly. Because you are ill. Damn! Well,
Or a sick mofo.
you're a sick motherfucker. You are disgusting. You deserve... Can you imagine?
I mean, that's might as well how they should have put it in this story.
You just killed 17 people. Like...
Like, you crazy.
You're the worst type of person. That's why your mother hates you.
Oh my god.
God. Because you are ill, I answered. He rose his head in response. Come on. You are only 14 years old. Your future is still very bright. I gave him a pat and smile, hoping to cheer him up. I want to let him know that I'm his friend, not an enemy. This is what I said to the boy. This was the first time that he ever spoke more than a word. Well, at least he was talking now. We made good progress here. The reason I said that he's a he is because they put her, but little mistake right there. The atmosphere always suffocates me. Maybe because this is a hospital. Not the best place for a sane person to stay for long. I get surrounded by different patients every day. I had grown accustomed to it until now. I feel something unfamiliar. I feel like I am a frail sheep amongst a pack of hungry wolves. I am pretty sure this place is slowly eating my sanity away little by little. Something in Helen Otis' file stuck with me. I decided to ask him in person in the next coming interview. We met in a small room like the previous time. I greeted him with a smile and he responded with a few blinks. I took this as a greeting from him. As I sat down at my place, I flipped open my notes on his case and looked him in the eyes. I questioned the femininity of his name. Helen, did your parents name you this? He thought for a minute, then told me that his parents had difficulty conceiving children and they were eager to have a daughter, but instead gave birth to a boy. Due to his mother's weak health and their financial situation, they couldn't have any other children as much as they hoped so. They decided to raise their only son as a daughter. I heard, like which one is it, in Conjuring or in Insidious? Wasn't it like that bride? Do you know what I'm talking about? I think it's in Insidious, maybe. But it was like that same situation, that there was this bride that kept haunting the father in Insidious as a little boy. And then
Oh yeah, that was Insidious.
Yeah, so that's what it reminded me of. But I heard, I don't know. I haven't read many cases of this, if this is an actual event, but I would imagine. Because I know there's a lot of mothers, like some mothers out there, that are desperate for a girl,
Yeah.
That they get mad at their kid if they try, like, changing their name to a boy name.
Even though the compiling of DNA from the mother and the father, it's equally their fault that it's not a girl, not the kids.
Yeah, but those type of, like, cases are really sad and tragic. Because you can hear, like, usually, I feel like this is most common in men that this happens in. Because I don't think I've heard, like, a story of a little girl being pressured to be a boy, But I hear a lot of stories from little boys that are forced to be a girl, but they don't want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you can, like, I feel like we can kind of compare that to, like, wanting to be, like, a tomboy or something. Like, not, like, necessarily, like, fathers forcing their girls to be, like, boys.
Mm-hmm.
But there's, like, a lot of pressure to be, like, wanting to get his attention, so therefore, like, the kids just kind of go into the aspect of wanting to be like their dad.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like different.
Do I make any sense?
I think you do.
Okay.
But I don't know. I heard cases like this similar, and it's really sad.
Cause I did that. I felt like I needed to act more manly growing up to get my dad's attention.
Mm-hmm.
Because he had 2 girls, so it's like, yeah.
I don't know.
But of course that didn't work.
I don't know. Well, I remember, because I know this type of stuff obviously will affect you, like, mentally more and more as you grow up, But I remember in the case of Insidious with the older man, and when he grew up, he wanted to, like, chop off his ding-a-ling, because he didn't suit into his own mother's standard of being a woman. So I don't know, these type of cases are really sad, and it's like, it's sad, it's true, because I'm sure there's cases like this that are similar, but yeah, I don't know.
What if somebody has like a gag reflex? What if you just triggered them? Great going. We need to put a trigger warning on that.
No. If you have a gag, and if you gag when people gag, slay. You gagged. I don't know the term. Okay. As he finished his sentence, he fell into silence. As I was thinking what kind of response I should give, he opened his mouth again. Not only does his name sound feminine, his parents also bought girl clothing for him when he was younger. Raised him like a daughter instead of a son. Neighbors and children around the area did not know he was actually a boy. When he reached the age of 6, he had to go to school, afraid that the way he was raised will cause a huge concern. His parents tried changing their ways, finally treating him as a son. Maybe this is why he has some feminine characteristics. My parents are very fond of me, and I understand their difficulties, so I have not complained about them. I do not think they have any problems. Are you sure?
Wait, is the boy saying his parents don't have problems?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. They do. They do.
No. Yeah. Like, okay. There's a difference between wanting to raise your kid as a girl, but they're a boy, and them willingly wanting to act like a girl instead of a boy.
Yeah. And also the aspect of, like, not being able to afford, like, a certain type of gender. Usually meaning, but girls are more expensive, though.
Mm-hmm.
In a sense. So...
Yeah, his parents got major problems.
Yeah, like, so, of course, like, they don't have any money to buy for more kids, because they're dressing up for a girl.
Mm-hmm. No, so it's like, who does that? Like, I feel like when I have a kid and they come out as a boy or girl, you know, I'll treat them whatever they want me to treat them like, you know?
Yeah, but he hasn't, like, said, yeah, I want to be treated like a girl.
I don't know, it's so, like, and I feel like, because, you know, and I feel like this is the same thing with, like, when people have abusive parents, that they feel the need to defend them, you know? And it's the same thing, because this is abuse. You can't do this to a kid. They don't understand, and obviously they're gonna comply because you're their parents.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's, like, the same thing with, like, people who had abusive parents, that when people tell them, like, oh, your parents were terrible, they get that sense of to defend them because they're their parents. And just know, if you, like, have an abusive family, you know, and people tell you, oh, it's your family, it doesn't matter. Family doesn't have to define with, like, blood or, you know, blood related or crap like that. You can have a family with your friends, you know. I'm just letting you know. If you're a victim of abuse, it's okay. I love you. Right.
That was a good one.
Right? Okay. His family is very dysfunctional. He grew up under his parents' twisted faith and overly high expectations, which affected his growth. He lost some basic human traits, but he didn't notice. Plus, he doesn't seem to know how to express his feelings due to the environment that he grew in. It's hard to change the patient's opinion on their family's faith. I wanted to tell him what his parents were doing is wrong, but it wasn't the right time, so I kept my mouth shut. You know, bringing up the fact that, like, there's a lot of people, I notice, you know, because I know there's some parents that don't know how to express their feelings well, or don't really let their child express their feelings well. And it's like, if you don't know how to express your feelings, that's your parents' fault. I'm just saying, okay? But it's okay to not know how to express your feelings properly.
It's just going to be a lot harder to realize how to do it.
Right.
But it's like, in reality, your parents probably should have put you in, like, therapy to learn how to do it.
Or, like, not... I feel like if a parent has a hard time telling their feelings, you know, they shouldn't, like, make it known to their kid. Because, you know, kids are very easily impressionable. They'll copy their parents' personality.
Exactly.
So it's like, just know, if you have a difficult time sharing your feelings, it's okay. It's just gonna take a lot of time till you're, like, finally comfortable enough.
And learn how to express your feelings properly.
Exactly. So it's like, I don't know. That topic with people not knowing how to express their feelings is very... And it's the fact that whenever you ask somebody, how are they feeling? You can literally see the way they struggle.
Yeah. Because they're trying to figure out what to tell you.
Yeah.
But they don't know what to tell you.
Or sometimes they just don't know how to feel. Because, like, your whole life, you might have been told how to feel. You know?
Like, oh yeah, they're fine.
Yeah, or your parents would get mad at you for feeling any other emotion but happy. So it's like...
So it's like that inner conflict of, like, oh, I know I don't feel okay, but I'm going to tell them that I'm okay. Because that's what's drilled into my head.
Yeah, it also has to come with, like, independency. You don't have to be independent, okay? You don't have to be independent to prove a point. You know what I mean? It's okay to ask people for help. It's okay to go to people. You don't have to be independent. Like, you don't have to, like...
Like, independent in the sense of, like, your feelings.
Mm-hmm. Or especially if you actually needed help.
Right,
like...
just, like, in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's okay to ask for help if you need help. You can be independent and ask for help at the same time.
Right. We're your psychiatrist. Listen to us.
Honestly, yeah. I'm in my abnormal psychology era.
We're in our 20s. So, listen to us. Young
We're
20s.
wise.
Yeah. Okay. Although he rarely talks to other people in the hospital, he talks politely whenever he does. We chatted sometimes. We sat on the white bench in the park. We looked like best friends. We don't always talk about things related to the hospital. We talked nonsense sometimes, and it was these moments that we both felt relaxed, especially me. I really felt that tension between us loosening. In this place, patients will randomly pick fights with one another. He won't pick fights, but neither does he stop them. He always manages to avoid any form of chaos and lives peacefully. That's pretty smart of him. I guess that's pretty smart. Maybe he's just shy. You know? In the year 2001, 3rd of October, he was discharged from the hospital after receiving treatment for 7 years. And it's time for him to return back to society. He is now 21 years old. Damn. Wait, he was 14 when he entered. Mm-hmm. So how many years was that?
Like 6.
6. Sorry, I gotta pull out my calculator.
7?
Yeah, 7. Close. 7 years of a psychiatric hospital. That's crazy. Can you imagine? I know people that's been there for...
Like, literally ever.
Mm-hmm. But 7 years and then being put back in society?
That's like jail. Like, prisoners being set out without any...
It's interesting.
Recollection of how the world is that day.
Yeah, or also, like, prisoners who were held in 2000s and let out in, like, 2020 or 2021. And they have, like, their clothing from 2000s. They... like, have their phone from 2000, you know? It's very interesting because you don't realize how much time changes during the years until you see someone that's still stuck in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I find those type of things interesting because I've seen TikToks of, like, prisoners when they get out and what they make at home to eat. And it's just, like, sad and interesting, but it's mostly sad.
Yeah.
It's really sad because I know there's like jail food with like ramen, and you can see them like do that at home where they're not in jail anymore.
Because it's like that's what they're conditioned to do. That's all they know.
So it's like it's very interesting, and also those type of people have a harder time finding a job. It's the same thing with like people that were in the military. They have a very hard time going back into like.
That's why they just keep re-enlisting, because it's like their home. Like that's all that they know, and that's all that they're conditioned to know. They're conditioned to be a weapon.
And when they can't anymore, it's like
they can't function in regular day life.
Yeah, that's why if there's a lot of like homeless veterans or stuff like that, because it's hard for them just to step back into society, you know, especially into work. And as much as people love to praise, to respect your veterans, you know, and all that, it's like you have to understand what they're going through, especially if they're a homeless person and they were a veteran. You know what I mean? It's like you need to understand people.
They most likely have something like psychologically wrong with them as well, of them being homeless. So it's like on top of them like not being able to afford housing, they're not being able to get treated and get the medications that they would need to act sane like any normal person.
It's a very hard world out here.
It's a really hard loop that people have to go through.
Yeah, so one, respect your veterans, and also when you see a homeless person, you don't have to give cash to them. And then
just give them a smile.
Yeah.
Give them something.
No, yeah. Get them a prayer, or don't.
Whatever you choose to believe.
Right.
It's up to you.
But
give back to the community. We're preaching today.
Right. Overall, just respect the homeless, you know.
Just be nice to each other.
You never know what they've been through. You never know. Or if they have really nice clothes or shoes, flick them off. They're scammers. They're scamming.
Oh, the homeless people that have like nice clothes and they carry a sign saying that I can't eat.
And then you just watch them casually get into a car.
Like a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
I've seen that on over by our house.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Or you see them casually, like, pulling out cash and just like, getting something.
Yeah, like wads of cash.
Yeah, so it's like... But anyways, moving on. He was in 7 years in psychiatric hospital, yeah. He's no longer the younger boy I remember. I was the one seeing him off. Thinking back made me feel happy for him. Don't ever come back here, Helen. If you come back here again, we will only meet when you are sitting on the electric chair.
What? This story has taken way too many turns from my mind to catch up. Why?
Well, I guess since the psychiatric hospital is dedicated to, like, criminals. I guess that's why.
Maybe. But, like, don't scare him into coming back to this psychiatric hospital where you're supposed to get help.
It's kind of funny, though. Can you imagine if they said that at a regular psychiatric hospital?
That's definitely, like, HIPAA laws.
I better not see you here again. The next time we meet, you're tied down on the bed.
What the? Oh, my gosh. I would never want to go back.
Well, yeah. If you've been to a psych ward or, you know, God bless you. I heard some stuff about that. I find it so funny. Not the psych ward. This part of the story. Not the psych ward. You were doing okay. Okay.
Are you talking to yourself or the viewer?
The viewer! What if one of them been to a psychiatric ward? You were doing great. Saranhe. And those are the last words I said to him as I pat his shoulder and smiled. He nodded in response. He had a good nature, if you asked me. I remember the look of him when he left. He wore a dark blue windbreaker and a pair of black pants. His hair was still the same messy jet black. We won't try to comb his hair. Oh, whoopsie. Sorry. Cut right there. Won't he try to comb his hair, Lodi? Cut right there. Won't he try to comb his hair a little?
You say it? Spit it out!
Steal his look, ladies and gentlemen. He has a blue windbreaker, dark blue, and a pair of black pants. Steal his look.
I probably will.
Shut up.
Can you spit it out so you can get Tim Hortons? I haven't eaten.
I truly hoped that I wouldn't be seeing him in this place again. After his discharge from the hospital, he was behaving well. We sometimes talk by email or meet up at a cafe. We talked about what we were doing now. He works as a mover and a cleaner as a part-time job. His body has grown quite masculine. Not masculine, muscular, sorry. Looking much healthier than when I first saw him. He saved a small amount of cash and rented a small old house. The environment is quiet and nice. He bought some art tools and started to draw. He told me that he wanted to become a painter. He still didn't talk much, but I am happy that he found his goal in life. He said he never blamed his parents for what they'd done to him, but he never once visited his parents after his discharge. After we confirmed that he wasn't any threat to society, we finished our observations on him. In the year 2003, October, there were a few missing persons cases. Judy George and Maggie Wang, both aged 24, were a few of the victims who were missing. These cases were very popular at the time, but I didn't really care. Well, damn.
Wonderful.
Okay,
Sorry, intermission.
we had a little intermission, but you guys won't be able to tell because of my smooth editing. But, we went to Tim Hortons.
Because I was hungry.
Yeah, Savannah was hungry.
Needed a munchie. A snacky.
We didn't smoke.
No. I am asthmatic, so I can't do that.
Anyways, this bitch lying.
I'm not lying.
Okay. We had an intermission. We just went to Tim Hortons and we came back. But
Get an ice cappy.
yeah, we got an ice cup. Oh, let me tell you, my mom and grandma wanted something, right? So I got my grandma a ham Swiss sandwich and then my mom an ice cap. So I got into the car, put my ice cap on the cup holder. Savannah also got another ice cap.
Don't expose me like that.
She put her ice cap also in the cup holder. So I was like, hold my sandwich.
Oh my gosh.
You won't believe how she was holding the sandwich. I'm gonna draw it out for you guys. I put it on her lap and I was like, hold it. And then I look over and she's holding it by
Like so.
no, she's holding it in air, like in midair. And I'm like, are you okay? And she was like, no, I don't want to get the grease on my pants. There was no grease.
There was.
They didn't toast it.
The grease from their gloves was on the outside.
Oh my god. Yeah, she didn't want to ruin her pants that she felt uncomfortable
I
in.
feel like that's pretty
Anyway.
pretty self-explanatory reason.
I feel like it's a stupid reason.
Well, I feel like you're a stupid reason.
Well, you're a stupid reason.
Anyway.
Reasons. The reasons.
Can we continue? Please continue.
Okay, so we're continuing
The podcast.
No, we're continuing.
The reading. The article.
Can you?
The baby.
You're being so loud.
I am loud.
Reasons.
How dare you take away my voice?
Read. The reasons that we...
Backup singer.
Okay. We're continuing the Bloody Painter. A user posted this photo on social network. He said his CCTV recorded this picture on the 31st of October 2003 at 2:30 a.m. and stated that someone tried to break in my neighbor's house. Here's the image. Yeah, isn't it
Immaculate.
Yeah, isn't it cute?
It's me in the morning.
Need myself a man that breaks into my house like that.
I'll do it.
Sorry.
I know all the ins and outs of Tsukasa.
Yeah, right. I only have 2 doors, bitch.
You have an attic window that I just recently discovered.
Okay. There is a human figure behind the masked man. He seems like fainted. What? Whatever. Here's another image, a bit of a close-up. Yeah, okay. The police have no clue on who is responsible for these cases. They thought it was some guilty pleasure freak behind them. Oh? No. There was no specific motive. It just seemed this was all done for some sick satisfaction, making him harder to track down. Until the police found out the victims were all in the same class with Helen Otis before he entered the hospital, as well as the survivors from the gruesome case from a few years ago. The police decided to investigate his home. When I saw the news, I felt my heart skip a beat. I tried to contact him as well, but to no avail. Something bad was going to happen. I sat in front of my TV, my mind jammed like glue. I can't think of anything or do anything. God, no, please no, echoed in my head. Helen Otis' old house is now under police investigation. Here's a picture. Looks like your house.
Don't say that.
No one's gonna stalk us.
No, like, don't put that image in my head. That somebody's gonna come into my house.
Well, this is Helen Otis's old house. Not a house that he broke into.
No, but there's somebody breaking into this house. So don't make me paranoid that somebody's gonna break into my house.
You're fine. I think you'll make it. I literally think you'll make
my
it.
sweet karate skills. That makes me cool, right? Do you think that if I tell them that, like, I do karate, that, like, nobody will... You can't put that on the podcast.
Watch me. Reasons. The reasons that we can... Okay. On the 17th of November, the night was dead quiet. The place was silent, which made his house in the middle of a field look more eerie. The police broke the lock on the door and opened it slowly. A rotten stench greeted the intruders from the darkness of the house. One of the policemen shone a torch through the home. Surprisingly, there wasn't a piece of furniture in the entire structure. Apparently, no one had lived there for quite some time. They moved inside quietly to check the source of the smell. Suddenly, one of the police officers felt something brush against his shoulder. When he pointed his torch up, he saw something that scarred his mind. An upside-down human with a twisted face was eyeing the police. The corpse's neck has been ripped wide open. The policeman freaked out and called out to the others as he scanned the rest of the house with his torch. The house was full of such corpses, like a butcher's shop. Trigger warning? It's gruesome. Okay, there's blood. It's in black and white, so you can't really tell. So think of it as little goo. So here's a picture. Judy George, age 24. Every single body's flesh was a drawing canvas. The writing on top of it was the process of killing the victims. One of the body's jaws had gotten ripped away brutally. All the paint on the canvas was brown. This was proven later to be the victim's blood after analysis, turning brown because of the oxidation. There was a total of 5 bodies in the house, including Judy and Maggie. The other 3 were the ones who gave witness about the murder case involving Helen to the policemen a few years ago. This home seemed to be more like a gruesome art gallery of victims than a butcher's. All of the bodies and canvases were facing the entrance, as if they were greeting the ones who entered this place. The police couldn't figure out the intention of the murderer other than him making a cruel joke. I fell into despair I'd never felt before. I really hoped that he was not the one who did all this. After the news published, neither can I eat nor sleep normally. My health was sliding downhill, my sanity escaping. Can anything be worse than this? I really want to go back in time and punch myself. Image. Newspaper of 18th November 2003. 5 skulls found in a house of horror. Next day after the news was released, I received a call from the police and they asked me about the murderer. They received Helen Otis's patient's file from me. I told them everything I knew about him. The police took note that I was not well. I told them that I was terribly shaken by the discovery of Helen Otis. I told them that Helen is a really good person. He was just walking down the wrong path. I thought I had stopped him from getting astray. The police found a letter at the crime scene. They asked me to stay calm. The letter was written for me. I asked her to receive the copy of the letter from the police. They complied and then they left. I stared at the letter, thinking of whether to read it or not. I was on the verge of a breakdown, but I felt something in the letter could salvage me. As I sat back in my couch, I don't know how long I was staring at that letter in my hands. Then I slowly opened it and began to read. Dear Doctor, I finally remember what happened that night after I looked at my mask. That night, 7 years ago, the day before Halloween, I kept fidgeting on my bed, unable to sleep. All the things that happened to me stung my mind like needles. That time I thought to myself, I had to do something about it. Then it happened. I threw a turned-on hairdryer into the public bathtub. There were a lot of people present. I remembered I used a simple fork to dig someone's eye out. I remembered I ripped someone's head from his neck. I attacked everyone who lived in the student dorm. I can't fully remember all the details. I just did what my mind told me to. When no one was screaming or struggling anymore, peace fell upon me, a peaceful feeling I never felt before. I fell to my well-deserved slumber on a pile of bloody bodies. When I opened my eyes again, I saw you, Doc. You said that the reason I'm here was because I am sick. Well, I must be pretty ill for now, but I never felt so peaceful in my life. Maybe I am better off to be sick like this. You told me the next time we meet is on the electric chair. What if it was the other way around? You must know that I have got my own way to meet you in person. See you soon. Smiley face! When I finished his letter, my mind went completely blank. What the hell was he trying to say? His last words sent a chill down my spine. I felt like a prey to him. I became one of his targets to hunt down. Wait, no. Maybe when he was still in the hospital, I was already a prey to him. Maybe he longed for this day to come. God knows what was going on in his head. He never showed his emotions. Even though I am his doctor, I could never truly understand what kind of person he was. I even thought of him as a friend. Hell, I even said he was my own child. Everything we went through was just a lie? Why am I so fucking dumb that I forgot the rules of the hospital? They won't send any sane person into that fucking place.
Yeah, you dumb bitch.
The police won't be on patrol at this time. My life is like an unstable time bomb until the day he gets arrested. I'll never know what he will do. My chance of getting killed by him will stay the same. I don't know when the worst scenario will happen to me, so I wrote it down. At least I won't die without letting others know what happened. That's what I think. I live alone, and it's bad. I began to be paranoid about my environment. Even little things made me jump. Before any of this happened, he used to be the most harmless patient I ever met with. But now, he can kill me any second he wanted to. I'm like helpless prey. This is what I get from ignoring the fact that he is a criminal and tried to save him myself. This is not a lost teen who walked the wrong path in life. This is an actual, real-life criminal. And here I am, staring at what he really is capable of. Maybe his stable behavior was nothing but an act. The moment that I felt happy for his recovery was only for me. I don't know how to face him anymore. I don't know what was going to happen next. I truly hope everything will be okay soon.
Oh, he's kind of cute. I would do the same thing, girl.
I just heard my house door open.
Dun dun.
Picture. Savannah said this is cute.
Yeah, you can't even tell me he's not.
Okay. Let me talk to you guys about Savannah's type of men that I've noticed.
It's literally like it ranges to like literally everything, pretty much.
That's a damn lie.
No, it's not.
Savannah, let me explain. Okay. You and my mom are the same people. Okay, so this is what I noticed.
She's been saying that I'm like her mom a lot, so.
Yeah. So my mom is really into bald men. But
I'm not into bald men, let me clarify.
That is not my point. My point is, my mom's into bald men, but my mom thinks she has such a variety. She says, I like all type of men. But do you know what she leans towards the most? Bald men.
So yeah, so my type is a variety, but I do have a favorite.
Savannah's type of variety is just the biggest assholes in the world.
That's a personality trait that seems to be a common denominator in all of my life choices, okay? That does not mean that I have a specific type. Continue.
So if you're an asshole,
Send it my way!
you're Savannah's type. I know what you're thinking.
Scrum diddly.
I know what you're thinking.
You didn't really think that was funny. Because the way you laugh. God, I hate when she does that. You know what? Rachel's got a type. No one. Every time I say, oh, this person's cute, she's like, yeah, but then doesn't go for them. So her type is being scared.
I'm sure. Okay.
It looks like I'm screaming on the thing.
Hoping not. Okay, so this is a picture of the wanted sign of the bloody painter.
The cutie patootie.
He's 25 to 35, approximately 5'10".
My type!
Ooh, black hair and blue eyes?
My type!
Ooh.
Wait.
And that is the end of the first part. And there's a second part that we're about to cover. Okay, so now we're on to the part 2. Technically, this part is like the first part, but I felt like it would be better if we just did the most recent updated one instead of reading the actual first one that was technically published. So, yeah. So now we're doing the 2013 Bloody Painter prequel. Now this is gonna be the part where cut. This is gonna be the part where we get to finally hear the whole backstory of what happened that night and why Bloody Painter is the way he is.
Ooh,
Shut the fuck up.
I know you see me standing here. Don't I look good, my dear? Yeah. Ooh. Okay, I'm good. Just had to get it out, you know. Continue. I'm done. Hurry. Go.
Shut up!
I'm just so funny. I'm just sitting here looking at her, and I'm like literally so funny.
No, that's not it. You're just a bitch. Okay.
You're gonna fucking read? Oh my gosh. Do you want me to read?
Do you want to read?
No. So just hurry it out.
I'm gonna fucking slam you, Chris, to the ground. Okay. A story about 1994 school massacre. This is Helen, 14 years old. His dark circles feel as if he has never slept enough. He doesn't care about his messy hair, since he doesn't like to put too much effort on tidying himself up. It's unnecessary. His seat is at the back of the classroom, next to the window. He always sits there drawing quietly, as it is like everything to him. He doesn't like to socialize with people, making him a lonely one. There is a person being pushed to the floor after school. That's Tom, who is always the victim of bullying. Not because he did anything before. It's just the dislikes of people around him. These things happen often, and Helen is used to it. Though he does feel bad for Tom, he doesn't want to interfere, as it is quite bothersome. During recess, Judy says she's missing her watch, as she searches for it. Helen doesn't help her, since it's none of his business. Suddenly, someone sees something flashing in Helen's bag. "What's this?" Ben says as he puts his hand into the bag and takes out a watch that is trimmed with fake diamonds. Helen is very surprised to see it, as he does not know how it got there. "Ah, that's my watch!" No, that sounded cringy. "Ah!" No.
Ah.
That's my watch.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
That's my watch. Judy receives the watch from...
Hang on. You would say it like that. Oh, that's my watch.
Judy receives the watch from Ban. Oh, his name is Ban, not Ben. Whoopsie. Ban, after seeing the situation. Both of them stared at Helen with a weird glare. "It's not me," says Helen, who is still drawing on his notebook without raising his head a bit. "Yeah, right." Judy leaves the classroom with Ban as she concludes. The following day, as usual, Helen sits at his table drawing. He notices the atmosphere doesn't feel right around him. People start whispering about him, and even a few start calling him a thief. He decided not to explain himself, as he knows that it's useless to do so. As time passes, Helen becomes a new target, a victim for people to bully. Everything he does now is being exaggerated. He doesn't like it, but he doesn't resist. He keeps the feeling in his heart, keeping silent, until one day, Ban came up to him and snatched his notebook, with his unfinished drawings on it. "Always doing this meaningless things," says Ban as he tears down a few pages of drawings, tearing them into pieces, wanting to see Helen's reaction. At this rate, the feelings that he has been holding burst out. He punches Ban in the face and starts to fight. Helen isn't that powerful, however... Oh, whoopsie. Helen isn't that powerful, however, so he was beaten up in no time. Other students went to see the fight without stopping it. Some people even stomped him in his face and stomach. You know, in these type of stories, because I also, I don't know, like, are these real? Like, do you feel like you would ever see a group of kids, like, stomping on someone's face and kicking someone in the stomach at school? Not high school.
I was like, because I've seen it at our high school.
In school or out?
In school.
I don't know, I never witnessed it. Maybe because I don't care.
Because it was the fight with those girls.
What girls?
I can't say that on the podcast.
Well, I'm gonna cut it anyways.
Like the...
What happened?
There was another recent one at, I don't know if it was Riley's school or if it was Tom, like, but somebody was getting, like, beat up.
I hope nobody that watches us is a bully.
I hope not.
We don't tolerate that.
I'm
Hashtag
gonna karate kick you in the face.
stop bullying. In all seriousness, if
Spread love.
if you're a bully at school, you're a fucking loser. I'm sorry, but you're a loser.
We said stop bullying, and then you're just calling people a loser. All right.
You're a loser if you bully.
Don't be a hypocrite. Like Rachel over here.
If you're a bully, you're a fucking loser. You're a loser. Loser. L. L.
Love.
fucking loser if you bully someone. Continuing.
Ew! Stop that. I'll pull your tongue right out of your mouth.
You want to touch this tongue?
Ew, never mind. It's a little bit cracked.
Okay. Right after the bell rings, everyone stops what they're doing and went back to their seats before the teacher came. Helen returns to his seat as if nothing happened. The teacher enters the room later on. Oh my, Otis, what happened? Helen has so many visible bruises on him that the teacher notices right after she enters the room. Everyone turns to look at him, waiting for him to give a response while glaring at him with a murderous look. I fell from the stairs, miss. Helen responds as the glares disappear. After returning home from school, his parents also ask him what happened, and he responds with the same answer. The blue jacket he is wearing covers all the other bruises than those on his face. His parents believe it without doubts. When Helen's parents ask how he is at school, he always says he's fine. He even lied about making a lot of friends, living happily every day. Helen refuses to tell his parents the truth, since he doesn't want to make his parents worry about him. A few months later, he has gotten used to the negative comments about him, and getting hit or humiliated has been a normal event for him. He's completely immune to these things now. Who framed him in the first place? Who did the culprit... No. Why did the culprit do this? This doesn't matter anymore. Nothing matters anymore now. Hi, you there? Helen receives a message from an unknown user on Facebook. Who fucking uses Facebook anymore? Loser!
Bully over here. Bully.
You
Bullier.
wish I was a bully.
Meanie.
If you guys saw us in
You are a bully.
I'm not.
She bullies me, guys.
Anyways, if you guys saw us in high school, you would obviously tell we were not popular kids.
Shh. Can't expose us like that. What are you doing? What are you thinking? Everybody's gonna think we're losers. We can't do that.
We were losers.
No, we weren't. Don't tell people that.
We were losers.
You can't tell people
We
that.
were losers.
Anyway, we were so popular, like it was
We
hard
were
to handle.
never popular. You wish we were popular.
We should have been popular than the popular kids at our school.
No, that would have been sad because that means we peaked in high school.
True.
No offense. If you peaked in high school.
Yeah, she's just a bully.
Okay, if you peaked in high school and you're still very successful, that's good. But if you peaked in high school and you were one of those bullies, good for you. I hope you're living in hell. Fucking loser. Okay. Who are you? He replies. I'm Tom, your classmate. Tom has never interacted with him before. This surprised him a bit. What is it? Helen says. Are you alright? It's none of your business. Helen concludes Tom's question. Tom types for a while before coming up with, listen, I know how you feel right now. You're in the same situation as I am. I really want to help you, but I can't. Sorry. Afterwards, Tom and Helen text each other for a long time, and Helen feels much better after telling him all the pain and the feelings he has been through. He even joked around with Tom, often using smiley face to show his happiness. This is the first time he thinks he had made a friend. You know what? No wonder. And like the other one, the first one we read, that the psychiatrist talks about how Helen has a very hard time showing his feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, it is a warm weather in the afternoon. Come meet me on the roof after the first period in the afternoon. We need to talk. Don't ask why. Texted Tom last night. Following his instructions, Helen meets Tom on the roof, waving his hand and walking towards him, as he says, Hey Tom, what's up, friend? I have something to say. Something important, says Tom with a serious face. Remember the watch thieving incident? How could Helen forget it? That was how he started suffering. Helen nods to show he remembers. I was the culprit. Tom looked down and scared to look into his eyes. What? Helen is shocked. I stole Judy's watch and framed you as the culprit. Why did you do this? With you as a new target of bullying, my life is much better. Tom smirks. It's true, however, that when everyone decides to bully Helen, they won't bother Tom anymore. He's just like an abandoned toy. For him, that is totally perfect. As long as he keeps silent, he will be able to live his school life safe and sound. He succeeded. The plan was outstandingly perfect. Helen grabs the collar of his shirt, and after pushing around a bit, they ended up near the edge of the roof. Tom slips and falls from the roof. Helen instantly grabs his hand and tries to pull him back up, but Helen does not have that much strength to do so. I'm so sorry, Helen. Tom falls. Helen closes his eyes, scared to look at what's going to happen. He cannot imagine what will happen to one after falling from a 6-story tall building. After the police arrive, they have an interview on Helen. He was too horrified by the accident to say even a single word. You know, there is an episode.
What am I telling him?
Tell him I'm ugly. No, don't do that.
I'm gonna say she's into girls, sorry.
Sure. Unless you want a double date with this guy.
What is that supposed to mean? You think I'm gonna be taking 2 guys on at once? Huh?
Yeah.
I will later, but not now.
Whoa. Oh, but I was gonna say, you know, there's this episode on Arnold, like Hey Arnold, right? And it's about the Pigeon Man. Do you remember that episode?
Of what?
The Pigeon Man on Hey Arnold. It was just a guy who had a lot of pigeons. A lot of people came up with conspiracy theories about that episode.
Really? About, like, for what?
Because at the very end of the episode, Pigeon Man, like, flies away with his pigeons. Like, the pigeons are carrying him. A lot of people came up with the conspiracy that Pigeon Man actually killed himself in front of Arnold. So Arnold remembers it as if Pigeon Man flying away to, like, suppress the trauma of watching someone kill themselves.
That's deep. I didn't expect it to go that far.
No, yeah. I never, like, thought of that, because who thinks about that when it comes to a kid's cartoon?
Right.
Speaking to...
That's why I'm over here.
Okay. But, yeah, I think that was, like, the most weirdest... No, a lot of people come up with a lot of conspiracy theories with, like, Hey Arnold or any kid show. But I feel like that one was very, very dark.
That is very dark.
And it kind of makes sense to me, because when you witness something traumatic, or you,
Sorry.
What? No, you gotta tell them. Tell them what's happening.
So, I'm on Hinge, and, one of the guys that I'm talking to, he's so dumb. Okay, anyway, like, I don't plan on doing anything with any of these guys on Hinge, really, unless, like, they really do meet all of my qualifications. So, like, they're all wanting to hook up, right? Because that's what Hinge and dating apps are for nowadays, just hookups. Well, this guy, he was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just chilling with a friend, you know, as one would say, as what I'm doing. And I said, what about you? He said, same. He goes, is it a girl? Question mark, question mark. And I'm like, I said, why do you want to know? LOL. LOL. And he said, my buddy's handsome. We could double date. With, like, a winky face emoticon. So then I said, I hate to break it to you, but she's only into girls. LOL. And then he said, well, what if me and you hook up and she hooks up with you? Threesome? Men are so dumb.
That's gonna be our next podcast episode.
My dating life is very much like a movie.
That's gonna be like the horror theme.
Yeah.
If you want to know, yes, it's true. Savannah's a whore.
I'm not.
Yeah.
What do I say?
She's not lying, about the women part. Ladies.
What do I say though?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell him to meet you in an abandoned
alley.
alley.
I'm gonna give him the location of an abandoned alley in Detroit.
Yeah. And tell him if you see a bald man, don't worry.
If you see a bald man, it's part of the foreplay. Just get into it.
Role play.
What do I say?
I don't know. No, you freak.
No, you bozo.
Yeah. Anyways.
It says on my profile that I'm straight. Did you read it, perhaps? Or can you not?
Right. Okay, let me continue. Once again, Helen becomes a topic of discussion between students. Some people think Helen pushed Tom from the roof, but most of the others think that Tom committed suicide, and Helen failing to save him, because they saw him grabbing Tom's hand before he fell. That night, Helen was in his room crying, shivering, and he cannot stop the guiltiness from growing inside of him. He needs to calm down, and suddenly a thought flashed in his mind. It's not my fault that Tom died. He deserved to die. This makes him feel much better, and his guiltiness fades away too. Helen creepily smiles. Tom has had his punishment. I suppose it's time for others to have theirs, isn't it? His cries turn into laughter in the dark. Helen's classmates decide to have a party at the day of Halloween, but it's not to celebrate Halloween. It's just to have their friends come together to party. Of course, Helen was not invited to the party. The night before the day of Halloween, Judy and Maggie were texting each other on Facebook. Both of them live in the school dorm, and Judy's room is next to Maggie's. Okay, this comes to the text part, but my iPad's about to die. Give me your iPad.
You think I'm just gonna give you my iPad? Like, why? I already gave you my pencil. Why would I give you my iPad?
Thank you. Thanks. Can you put your stupid thumb, finger, index, pointer? The night before the day of Halloween, Judy and Maggie were texting each other on Facebook. Both of them live in the school dorm, and Judy's room is next to Maggie's.
Who's going to come to the party tomorrow? I'm so excited.
Most of our class will be there, but I texted Dan so many times, and even though all my messages sent, he left me on red. He just never replies to me. The hell's wrong with him?
He's probably working, I guess.
Something weird is happening. I've been hearing footsteps coming from my door for a long time. I think someone's walking around the dorm. Wait, I'll go check. Oh my god, there's a guy outside who's wearing a mask and a blue jacket. He's holding a knife. And he's all bloody. Fuck, he's knocking on my door now. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Just calm down and find a weapon or something. Protect yourself.
He's turning the doorknob. Good thing I locked it. I'm scared.
Maggie.
What should I do?
Maggie, listen.
Save me.
Maggie, calm down. Maggie? Maggie? Are you there?
The message is shown to be read, but Judy doesn't see Maggie's responses. Suddenly, Judy hears the sound of her door opening. The instant she turns around, she feels a terrible pain in her stomach. A bloody person who is wearing a mask and a blue jacket bursts into the room and stabs her. That night, all of the students who were in the dorm were murdered. No one knows how the killer did it. The murderer used the victim's blood to paint on the walls of the dorm, with most of the paintings being the face. Many of the corpses were being chopped and mashed, possibly to get more pigments. Helen Otis, the culprit, is still missing currently. However, in the chat room where Judy and Maggie texted each other, a message was written that responds to Judy's first text message at 9:03. Don't be excited about tomorrow, because there will be no tomorrow. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of The Bloody Painter. So what did you think?
I liked it. I think our acting skills were pretty spot on during the text.
We sounded like we're in like one of those cheap pornos.
Why would you say that?
Well, I'm just saying, you know. Let me put this in the middle. So what's your opinion? What were your thoughts?
It had me on the edge of my seat. Your reading was very good.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys know this. Most of the creepypastas that we're gonna go through in like different series and stuff like that are not gonna be this good. compared to the Bloody Painter.
No.
So props to the creator of the Bloody Painter. I know they don't do much of the creepypasta stuff anymore, because once you're in middle school, you grow out of it. There's nothing more to say. You just grow out of it. But yeah, I feel like the story was great.
Yeah.
I like how they included the pictures because I felt like that was the most creative touch. And I think we have a list right now of creepypastas that we might go through in the future videos. But the next video, hopefully, the research is done by then, by me. But I'm hoping the next video that we come out with is going to be an actual true crime. I'm hoping. But no promises at all. But we have a list of creepypasta stories, and we might even go over a series that is happening with creepypasta, aka the Marble Hornets. If you don't know what that is, too bad. But yeah, so Savannah, would you want to pick which creepypasta we go through next?
In this episode?
No, not this episode.
Okay.
Next episode. Whenever we do another creepypasta podcast. So we got Jeff the Killer, Ben Drown, Tiki Toby, the Marble Hornets, Eyeless Jack, or the Puppeteer.
Jeff the Killer.
So you heard it here, folks, that the next podcast, if we do creepypasta again, which we will, but we might do true crime for the next one that comes out, it's going to be Jeff the Killer. So brace yourself, because we're going to go through 2 stories of Jeff the Killer, the original Jeff the Killer, and then a remake, because the original is crap. No offense, but it's true. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to pop that soda can. Thank you for watching or listening. Would you like to say your words?
See you guys. Thank you for listening to my therapy session. It's really appreciated. I just go through a lot.
Okay, that's enough. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.